Alright, good morning, welcome. So, I didn't get that much spare time after the stream yesterday to finish this asset off. So, I was thinking I'm gonna continue on this one and the four stones, the big stones, because all of them are like almost half done. So I'm gonna finish off them today, so it's basically just gonna be sculpting today. And then hopefully next week I can start with Unreal. And it seems like I have a problem with my internet. The stream went down quickly. Good morning, Attila. Or good evening almost. It's mid-noon. But I'm gonna finish up all these half-done assets. So next week I can start bringing in everything to Unreal, and basically just check that most of the stuff is working and start building the scene in Unreal. And probably I'm gonna jump back to Blender and like touch up on textures and stuff like that. So today is gonna be a lot of sculpting. So I was actually hoping to fix all this like off stream, but it didn't pan out. I didn't have time. This was really weird too. But if when I'm done with these guys, I have all like oh yeah, I have the sword, but maybe I'm gonna fix that during the weekend, and because I really want to get into Unreal and see where what needs to be fixed with the assets. Hopefully not that much. And I'm thinking about this scene when I'm done with it. When I have it in Unreal, I might put that assets on the Unreal, the marketplace. Maybe even for free or like $1 or something. It depends on how much assets I'm gonna make. Since I only have like 5 different trees, maybe it's not worth it. But I mean, not worth it to have it, because you can't really build like a complete game level out of it. You kind of need more assets, but and the stair, I don't know what the staircase. I don't know what to do with that one, so I might just use the stones I have. It's not that super important. It's actually this the big oak and the sword and the stuff like that. And one other thing I'm gonna do this weekend is try to find a better library for background music also, which is copyright free. But this can be kind of chill Friday also, just focusing on Sculpt and finish these. It's gonna be 5 assets in total. This archway and those 4 obelixes, which I already started and semi-fixed up. So. Yeah. And this time I might, I'm actually zooming in and doing all this detailed stuff. Before yesterday I kind of laid out all these big strokes and then went over, but yeah, I'm gonna try to do it this way today. That way when I like draw this stuff, I can finish them at the same time, so I don't have to go over the model again. But the downside is that you can kind of get too focused on one area and make it like super detailed and small, and then you zoom out and you see that it doesn't really fit, but I'm gonna try. And next Friday is then it's gonna be the Blender conference is gonna be on the way. So I don't know how I'm gonna, if I'm gonna live stream at all. Maybe I will live stream and kind of work on stuff and comment on the Blender conference, but I might also be at our office where we're gonna have the Blend Up meeting, Stockholm user group meeting. So I might be there and watch the live stream with other people. But I've been thinking about the Fridays in the future. If I'm gonna work on I have plans on starting to work on a game project, and then I probably will stream the 3D modeling and stuff like that. Not everything, but a couple of things. So I was thinking of keeping like Fridays open for just Blender and Bear days. So, and then I might sit with 2.8 a bit on Fridays and just doodle around and check new stuff. And the reason is that I was thinking on like maybe on Saturdays or Sunday to try and make those Blender 2.8 videos, so I don't totally forget about those. And then it would be good on Fridays just to sit with 2.8 and check what's new and stuff, and later on make a 2.8 video about it. So this, yeah, I could probably connect them like that. Oh, the pivot point is kind of weird. Yeah, so I should try and do this big block on this side. I'm gonna release the mask so I can see how I did it on the right side. So maybe like cut off this part. Yeah, probably like that. I don't know why I'm getting double strokes. I'm gonna regret that stroke. I don't really need that one. Okay. So I'm seeing a couple of like shading artifacts. I'm just gonna try and apply the base and see No, I did it before. There's no difference. So it's mainly this like weird pinching around these ones. Maybe it was, did I do the inflate after I placed the stones? I'm just gonna smooth it out when I see it. Otherwise it can become really weird when you bake the normal map. You get those like yellow green colors, which are like not good for the normal map. Maybe I could try and like flatten this entire part out. Yep. So I'm gonna mask out the left side again. Just focus on this one and go over it with this with drawing this cracked surface, the cracks in between the rocks. As I've done before, yesterday and in previous streams also, so you kinda have to work them all over. Okay, here we have some stretching, so and that's probably because the base base mesh under has a bit non-square faces. So there's even stretching when I'm trying to smooth out the strokes. So I might try to hide it with one of these rocks. If I can try and fit it into... Alright, I also almost forgot, got a new subscriber yesterday, off stream. No CGI domination. I think there was another one. Okay, here we have it seems like I must have went nuts with the inflate, because these edges seems to be, these edges around the rock seems to have been inflated. I'm just gonna go with this sharp flatten brush and flatten some of these edges a bit more and smooth wherever I see those inflated edges. Okay, let's work on this, the back side. The same idea, just draw some like general crack lines. Crack lines. Yeah, but where the structure has the cracks between the rocks, actually, in this wall. Can we connect it onto the other side somehow? Maybe it can go like around this stone. Alright. So I'm just gonna make this one kind of disappear into nothing, I think, and then maybe draw one like that. Ooh, I hope you're having a nice Friday, Attila. Here it's super sunny, so I'm thinking I'm gonna go for maybe 3 hours. I think that's well enough of time to finish this one up and the obelisk stones. And then I'm gonna go out and shop for Friday lunch, Friday dinner and stuff like that. Because it's super sunny so far. And I hope it continues. Maybe I should have done like the like some of the cracks leading up to each other, but kind of disappear like this halfway. I can try. Otherwise, I just want to make a hint that there's a stone over here. That's basically just by doing this and making this like the edges of the stones a bit irregular. The lines don't even have to be super. It's better if there are a bit irregularity to them. So this is just basically the one of the outlines of a stone. So it kind of disappears in here and stuff like that. So these two became quite similar. That wasn't super good, but well. Oh, this music was also horrible. I'm just gonna change it. So maybe this got a bit too small. mold detail. No. I'm just gonna keep it. But I kinda need to work on this top side a bit. I think this is a good place to do. Like one stone over here. Right. I'm coming up to the pinching part, where I kind of finalize them. So I got the depth and the placement. So it's now more about like pinching them together and maybe put a bit more of these stones and chips, and then use the rocky surface to make some of them a bit more not smooth. Like rough. So maybe one last down here. Oh. Okay, let's pinch them together and then place some rocks. I'm gonna actually probably start from here and work inwards. And it was a bit unfortunate that I already placed some of the stones, because now I'm pinching them also. Also, when you pinch, you have a little bit of more movement, so you can make them more square if you did the initial lines a bit too like rounded or like curved. So now you have the chance to, when you pinch, to kind of move them to make them more like this one. This one bends a bit to the down, so if I pinch and move, I can kind of move it. Okay, these guys I think I've been over actually. But this one hasn't been. Should actually have smoothen some parts, but maybe this like really hard edge here, it might turn out to look good actually, but I should have probably smoothened it a bit out. In worst case scenario, you have to go through the baked normal maps and kind of do some touch up. Okay, so this guy, I think it's hard to get that line more straight. All right. Oh. Oh yeah, I should, yeah, I forgot, I just pinched. I should maybe add a bit of chisels with the stones. Can I get it to be like that maybe? Maybe I should add more stones on this side also, like close to the bottom. And as you can see on this side, there's much more like roughness variances. So I need to paint that now. And I'm gonna use the rocky surface and just make some of these parts rocky and some smooth. Goes pretty quickly. And we're done. Later on I just need to normal bake it. What time is it? Almost 1. I'm gonna take a 10-minute break. Yeah, whoa. So this model is pretty much done. Maybe I can try and like do some tiny detail works like this, but overall it's done. It's got pretty much the base same like level of details on both sides. So I'm more or less just need to bake it. I had an idea that I could use the clay brush and add so some of them stick out a bit more from the model, but it's kind of too late now. I'm gonna be happy with this. Whoa. Don't freeze, Blender. So yeah, a short 10-minute break. I'm gonna open up the next part, which is these ones. So some of them are basically more or less done, and like this one is just I need to sculpt more cracks and yeah, just a bit more sculpting on them, and then they are done. So there's gonna probably be 1 hour of fixing up them, and then we can do something else, or I can have a look overall on the scene and see what else I need to do. Maybe I'm gonna pause the stream later, like in 2 hours or so, and do the normal baking, and then open up the stream again with all these assets, like in a low poly version and normal baked. But yeah, short 10-minute break, and I'll be back and working on this these obelisk stones. Hello, Sogs. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Right, so these guys were almost done. So today, Sogs, it's gonna be almost only sculpting. I'm gonna finish these assets completely. So I did the archway earlier, the first hour. So now I'm gonna spend an hour on these 4 obelisk stones. But oh, my up speed is really bad. It's around 400 kilobits. So I'm dropping frames. I hope the stream isn't too bad, but I'm dropping around like 50% of frames. I never seen that many dropped. But yeah, hopefully my internet's the service provider, the speed picks up during the day. Might be a lot of traffic today, but usually it's around 800 or almost 1 megabyte up speed. But now it seems to be around 0.3 megabyte. Oh, snap blender. So I'm gonna go pretty quickly through these guys, like I did with the archway. So general strokes and then some like finer details. Try to get this like edge shape of the stones just done pretty quickly. So hopefully next week we can go into Unreal and start importing all these assets. So I need to bake normal maps and ambient occlusion maps for all the assets. And flatten the base textures I already have. But yeah, pretty quickly go through this, guys. I just paint all these cracks and probably add a bit of roughness with this stony surface brush and maybe chip away some part like this. I need to just smooth some of this, smooth some of them out, and later I'm gonna pinch them together. But I'm gonna go through all of them before like starting to pinch. I don't know why Blender cannot change the old file. Oh, okay. Sometimes it saves a version with the @ sign at the end, which kind of screws up all my proxy links. But that seems to... Whoa. I need to change the Wacom tip soon also. That seems to be because it didn't have the permissions or something. So yeah, just try to make some asymmetricalness here with this, where the stone like edge is going. You can zoom in and do a couple of notches and like tiny cracks like that. So this is considered a stone, and this one is another. So when the lines is straight like this, it doesn't look that nice, but if you go in and just try to fix this like edge of the mason stone, then it starts to look better. So a bit of like rough edge. That's gonna be a really deep crack, but yeah. Oh, I do. So that line was kind of defined, but we can go in and let's do one of these tiny cracks and ooh, now it loaded really quickly. Where's my rock noise? There. So I'm just gonna smooth that part of it out and then put some grime with the rock noise. Now I can put some in this like intersection or like the larger cracks. Oh, completely destroyed that one. just trying to define this the edge of this like stone a bit more, and then when we pinch this together, it's gonna look like they're two stones more tight together. But you can always zoom in and make small stuff like that. And then this rock noise is kind of nice. It just adds a bit on the border of the stones, and especially in this grimy part in the middle. But sometimes you have to go in and just smooth some of the parts in the middle. So, oh yeah, I have this part left, and then all the top and stuff. So I'm gonna do all that, and then I'm gonna start pinch them together, and then I'm gonna see if I need to add more like shipped out parts like these. But I'm working pretty quickly now, and not that super detailed. Just so I can finish all these 4 assets today. And the lines are a bit wonky, but as I said, with the arcway you can always, when you go in and pinch later, you have a second opportunity to kind of straighten them out and make it more more straight edges. So now I just want to add a couple of like tiny details like that. Zoom in a bit to get those finer strokes. So here we have one edge of a stone, so try to just make it a bit more defined. Oh, it looks like a face, like an eye and a mouth and a nose. So I'm gonna keep that. Soggy pain. Coolio, sculpting is fun when you know what you're doing. Yeah, or you can just go on like I'm doing. Just go by feel. Sculpting characters is so hard. I usually try to start with the base mesh, but even then it kind of ends up looking really weird. Maybe I should try and not get it all the way. I'm gonna fade it out really much. So it just is like that. This is not a line I did, it's just I think it's just you have a slash brush, which is kind of nice. I'm gonna put a tiny bit of like stone dividing crack here. Kind of define this edge. Alright. I think I can move on to... Okay, this one doesn't look really complete. And I'm probably gonna have to pinch this one really tight together. But I think I can go on and start pinching some of this stuff. Oh, there's a line that hasn't been worked at all. So let's go and start pinching them together. So this is the time when you get to kind of straighten some of the lines. If you didn't draw them that straight from the beginning. So this part I'm just gonna fade away because this is so close to the the ground. So as you can see, you have a little bit of opportunity to shape the rock. Maybe I should have spent more time on this, but I really want to finish these ones. So I'm actually blurring some stuff away that I wasn't super happy with. On all these that like kind of ends in nowhere, you kind of have to pinch them really much. Something like that. I think it looks better. So I'm gonna do it with this one. It's gonna end in nothing, and then I'm just gonna pinch them. Same with this one, it's kind of should end in nothing. And here we have opportunity to just make them a bit less rounded. Maybe have I pinched these ones? They kind of look like been pinched over. So now it looks much better. Unfortunately, some of these got a bit rounded and lost their the pointy part of the stone. But I'm pretty happy with that. What game is this for? It's for Unreal Engine, and it's not really going to be a game. It's just going to be a scene where you can walk around. So hopefully next week I'm going to sit with Blender and Unreal. So I'm going to bring all this stuff into Unreal and do a bit of simple game logic. I'm going to stick to the blueprints. You can code C++ in Unreal, but I really like the blueprints, the node logics. So for these guys, there's 4 of them, so each of them is gonna have a special character on them, and I was thinking of doing like a mission texture which supposed to, I'm gonna try and do some stuff I haven't done, like proximity. When the character gets close to them, they're gonna light up and stuff like that. And I just wanted this scene almost like a practice, but I have a friend of mine's workplace and a game company which I once on interview for. I met them, and they have HEC wives, both of them, and both I can use the wives at both places. So for this stream, I'm just gonna do a third-person character, which is I should do some cracks up here, but you're just gonna walk around. But I kind of want to use this scene later on to set up just a VR environment, just to try it out. I don't think it's going to be that super interactive. It's just more checking scales and yeah, what you have to do to get it to work in VR. And which is really nice because Unreal already has like a VR controller template, so you get for the 2 controllers you can see your hands and stuff like that. So I might try just to bring it in and check. But I guess if you get the scale right from Blender to Unreal for a third person, it shouldn't be an issue for VR. But I kind of want to move into that area a tiny bit since it's so popular. But more like a content creator, not a programmer. So. And for now, since I've been working all fixing up all these cracks before, I'm gonna draw them and do the pinching directly. And we can see that, well, this part needs to be a bit more grimy, and now I can pinch it again. But later on, like in a couple of months, I think I'm gonna start working on a game idea I have, and it's also gonna be an Unreal, and I'm thinking of trying to live stream as much of the 3D content creations as possible, and then later, if I get the chance to make a game out of it completely, then I'm probably gonna have like live streams are gonna be like almost like a dev log, so I can see my progress. And that was also the idea with this scene. I should have tried to make a time estimate. Now I just go on, but to structure it better next time, I'm gonna do the entire blocking scene, and this time I only spent like a half a day on it. But then I'm gonna spend like almost a couple of days, like two days, to iron out all the IDs. So the blocking scene is just gonna be like cubes and simple shapes to get all the assets I need, because then you get kind of, when you're done, you get this like overview. I have 5 stones, I have to do this and that. And then you can start doing the like base modeling and high-res sculpting, and then finally baking and low-res versions. So if I get to work on a game ID and live stream it, I'm probably gonna do it like that then. Have a more structured time schedule and stream. So probably in the beginning it's going to be a couple of days of just blocking the scene, and then a couple of days of base modeling, and then a couple of days of just sculpting, and then baking and texture painting and stuff like that. But this one I kind of just went along and added stuff as I saw fit. Alright, let's try and add just a tiny bit of details. Trying to fit this anchored stone brushes. So I want to go over it with the rock noise and like make some of these parts exactly like on the arcway. I make some of them rocky, and I keep some of them like smooth, so we get this contrast between them. And then we can go and make it a bit rocky in some places. I think the top should be... No, maybe the top should be rocky, like it's been weathered. And try to keep these edges a bit smooth at least. So this part I can make a bit rocky. Simon Söderman, Tjolahops. Hej på dig. So, yeah, I'm Swedish, if you guys didn't know it. So this guy is pretty much done, and as I said, I want to do like some lettering here that's gonna have a emission texture which lights up. So I'm gonna start with this one. And for that, I'm just gonna use the tube brush. But oh wait, okay, I didn't have screen cap keys on. Since I opened a new file, it kind of disabled itself. And yeah, I'm gonna try and be consistent with the width. So with this tube clays holding control, you kind of carve out stuff. So I'm just gonna carve out a ridge, and then later with the flattened edge I'm gonna smooth it out a bit. So you can see it's been carved out pretty much. But once you start to flatten and stuff, it's gonna like even out. So I'm just going to start with the edges a tiny bit, not that much, because I kind of like the sharp edge. Tad. Simon, nice to take it into VR. Unreal. I've tried it it's with some simple assets like a sword, a half-finished gun, a shield, an anvil and such. Are you gonna do hand paint the texture with that PBR-ish workflow you had in earlier videos? Yeah. So everything's gonna be hand painted, but I'm gonna follow the PBR like texture channel workflow. So they're all gonna have roughness and metallic. And I kind of hand painted some of the stuff. Yeah, Simon, you haven't been here, so I'm just gonna save this and open up the blocking scene so you can kind of see the style. So I'm actually gonna delete the staircase I tried to make yesterday. I'm gonna do them with these the stones I had earlier. Just a simple staircase. So these guys are just placeholders, but you can see the trees and stuff. And I need to finish the sword also. But yeah, everything's gonna have this kind of hand painted style, and hopefully later on, maybe. Oh, that should be probably next week. I hope 2.8 becomes a bit more stable, because then I can paint the roughness and like the metallic texture channel in 2.8, because here in 2.79 you don't really see it in the viewport, so it feels counterproductive to try and paint it now, since it's not going to be represented correctly. And also I think like the tree foliage, I'm gonna do some kind of like roughness pattern for the leaves. It could be a very like illustrative look, because they already have a kind of illustrative look. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna try to make see how it looks if you do like a stylized PBR workflow. So let's jump back to the obelisk, because I already done the archway and stuff like that. So I'm gonna high poly sculpt these guys. Then I'm probably gonna pause the stream and do the normal baking, because that takes so much computer power that there's no power left to encode the stream. So I'm gonna do it off stream, so it doesn't die. And then next time you're gonna see this with like a low poly version with normal maps. So kinda just have to finish these guys up. I was hoping, whoa, I'm gonna try and smooth the middle part out, because then I can pinch the sides. And I probably should go with, you can see that these guys are like a slope. I want to remove the slopiness. I should have probably done this with in the base model, like with a boolean object, but I think this is more okay, since they're gonna be they are supposed to be like carved stone, so this workflow should maybe help it look like they're man-made. I think if if I'm using the pinch one with a kind of small radius but high influence, okay, I should be able to pinch these guys and kind of move them to place. But there's no real edge there, so it's going to be hard to pinch that to place. But and this flat surface, we have to do something about it, but maybe with a bit of rock noise for this part, and yeah, screen caps key. I'm gonna mask out this this surface, this entire. And if you accidentally do stuff like that, you can just hold control to do like a negative paint. Then we could probably just do a tiny bit on this, so it's gonna influence it, but not that much. I'm gonna change this curve to like a somewhere like this, so we have more hard edges. So before it was too, I think it was too soft a mask. If we want a softer mask, you can always go like this. So this is the center of the brush. So now you have a soft brush again. So I usually start with that totally flat brush profile, and then if I need a smoother one, you can always change it like that, then go and paint that in. So what we need to do now is invert the mask. So now we only affect this part. And I'm just going to quickly save if something happens. And oh, I shouldn't probably use my menu, because it's a bit laggy. I'm going to use the toolbar. We're going to use the copper one, like hammered copper, but hold control to invert it, since it's just a Voronoi. The influence was a bit too low, so I'm going to increase the influence. That was a bit too much. Come on, Blender. Don't crash. Is it serious crash? Seems like it. No. It was just lagging. So if we would like to, we could you can pinch these parts together, but I think I'm gonna keep it like this, like some kind of weird surface. And now I kind of want this inner part to be a bit smoother, to stand out a bit more. Should I probably have used a bigger brush size. A tiny bit of cleanup here where I pinched, where the shading kind of went weird. Can I smooth this side? Or flatten it out? Yeah. So I think I need to do this one over again, because it kind of got destroyed when I used that huge mask thingy. Right. Ah well. So I'm gonna do all the characters like that, and then I was thinking I'm gonna paint this inner part with the emission texture that's gonna light up when the player comes close. And quickly gonna save and just use the grab brush a bit. So yeah, one done. And I'm gonna apply the base just for good measure and open up the next one. This one is pretty much done. It's not as extreme as the other one, but and it yeah, kind of looks lower res. Soggy pane, Blender don't crash. My Blender just did. It always does it when you kind of feel it when you do something and it start. If it's gonna crash, it's really sudden, and then sometimes like stupid stuff like this makes it, but usually it's kind of stable in sculpting, which is nice. So maybe I have like these the cracks on this one seemed really faint, so I'm just gonna try and quickly touch them up so they become more this menu, so they become more coherent. But I think overall it's okay. I can do one crack here. Like it's and just pinch it and kind of fade it out to nothing there. I'm probably gonna do it on this side also. Try to pinch that one. Yes. Let's use one one of these stones, but inverted. Bit more influence. Try to place it in this that cracked part. And I don't seem to have really painted any. Yeah, I have painted on the top, but not that much. This one is gonna be a bit cleaner than the other one. The second one, which I was already... Oh, the first one. This is the second one. So I'm gonna quickly do the letter that's supposed to be in this area. So yet again. And what happened with the music? Best of February 2016. Okay, let's try that one, that playlist. I don't want the music to be too loud, but I kinda want some background music when I work. So yeah, let's mask this one. Whoa. Let's mask it out again. And change this curve to a flat profile. Oh yeah, I don't need a mask to do the letter itself. I just need a mask for doing that weird surface. So we can carve out a bit more. I should actually try and use fast navigate. Whoa. No, it was a bit horrible. I'm gonna turn it off. It's not really needed. It would be if it was way more polygons. So let's just pinch these edges to get a more sharp look, and then do that weird texture on this one also. So stony brush for this inside, and smooth some parts, and then mask brush. And this part I should probably do a more soft profile and select. The same with this part, I'm gonna use a more soft just to select the outside close to the leather. So hopefully we get a smoother fall off and not that sharp like in the last one. And now we can go to like a sharp. Kind of select everything else. And probably the projection has been a bit off now, so yeah, just remove that, the stuff you don't want to. Okay, tricky. Where's the line? It's there, yeah. Okay, then I can paint some of the stuff back. Okay, that's good enough. Invert and go for that hammered copper. Okay, now it seems to freeze up Blender, so I'm gonna read the chat. Come on, not now, not like this. When did I save? Last time. So Simon asked, what's your workflow for this kind of asset? Mine is model a base, duplicate, remesh, sculpt tool, high poly sculpting, duplicate high poly, decimate high poly, unwrap and bake from high. Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing also. So I do like the base mesh and then I high poly sculpt on it. I usually save a couple of blend files if you ever want to go back and redo it and or do like a second version of it. But I do the base mesh and then I high poly sculpt it with a multi-res modifier. I have a multi-res on this one. And when I'm done with the high poly sculpt, I usually have them with a naming convention of HP for high poly. I just duplicate it and call that one low poly and remove the... No, sorry, I don't remove the multi-res. I just apply the base shape, so any major sculpting things has... yeah, if you grab brush and stuff like that, it's good to apply base. Then I add a decimate modifier, and since these are gonna be game assets, I turn on the triangulation, so I see the exact face count, and yeah, then I apply those when I'm happy with the face count and stuff like that, and then it's just a matter of UV unwrapping the low poly and bake from... Oh, this is too strong. Then you bake from the high poly to the low poly. And I'm probably gonna... Oh yeah, and the curve is a bit weird. I'm probably gonna start looking into painting in Substance Painter. Okay, that's more like the previous one. So when I'm done with these four guys, I can try to show you the workflow, how to get a low poly version. But I'm really afraid that every time Blender lags for me, you guys get buffering. So, but I'm gonna try and do it, Simon. If you're here, it's probably gonna take like a half hour or something to fix all these guys. Or actually, I could do it. I can do it with this one. I can show you in a couple of minutes. Let me just touch this guy up a bit. But I'm not gonna normal bake because that totally killed the stream previous times. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this one. I'm gonna save it now. And I can show you that apply the base. Yeah, some of them. Most of these issues because I'm looking at a subdivision level of 3. Meanwhile, I sculpt at 5. So this guy is already named HP for high poly. So I'm just gonna save this file if I ever want to work on it again. And I usually just do a version of this one. Maybe I'm just gonna do it like this. Call it low poly. So let's duplicate this guy. Add a decimate modifier. And like my the shortcut I just did there with my menu, it also had this wireframe on top of it. And I kind of like it because then I see the topology, which isn't that super important now since I already done the sculpting, but it's important for this part. So this has 271. Wait, okay, it has almost 3 million faces. So I'm gonna decimate it quite a lot. And hopefully Blender won't crash. So this is really compute intense, and I'm dropping a lot of frames. I shouldn't have done that. What? My internet is completely dead. Zero kilobyte up speed. Oh, Blender. So I think that was a bit too intensive when it's trying to capture the screen and record. So I think the stream should be up again. So I'm not gonna try and decimate or normal bake because the computer doesn't handle it. Meanwhile, it has to capture the screen and encode a stream for YouTube. So I'm gonna open up one of my assets, where I already done that stuff on. Probably this one. Should be... No, that one was low poly. Let me check. Okay, this one. I'm looking for one of these. Yeah, this one is good. So, as you can see, I have a high poly version, a low poly version. And if I just connect up the normal map. Normal map. Wait a minute, what? Yeah, should be. Oh, I'm in solid, sorry. Now I'm in material. So I'm gonna move this one to layer 2, the low poly. We can check just on the high poly one. So yeah, this is like 500,000 faces or 1 million triangles, the sculpted one. So it's pretty high poly base mesh, and then I've sculpted it probably at like 4 or 5 subdivision layers in multi-res. But once you use the decimate modifier, you can get something like this, which is 500 faces or 500 triangles. So it's like super low poly compared to 500,000. And then you just bake the normal map and stuff like that. And I do that in Blender. So for any static object which you're not going to deform, you can use the decimate with triangles, and then you get a result which is exactly what you want in the game engine. But for a character, you might go by hand and use the shrink wrap modifier and do the like low poly retopology work yourself. I have an add-on called Retopoflow, which kind of simplifies that a bit. But it costs money, and shrink wrap kind of works pretty good as is. But yeah, so that's how I've done all of them. And then usually to bring them back into a scene, I used a proxy. So all these guys are proxies. If you check them, like you can change the material or anything, and the mesh data should also indicate it's a proxy. So I don't want to make them local, I want them to be like a proxy link to a asset file. Because that I can work on that asset file, and I can also use that one to export for the game engine. But a couple of days ago, I think it was Attila who gave the link to that Unreal add-on where you can, or was it Jason? Retopoflow is actually free on GitHub since the beginning. Yeah, most of the paid add-ons you can get the source code for free on GitHub. But I kind of bought Retopoflow when it was called Contours or something, and it was like 2 add-ons, but then they became 1. Okay, let's. That was a bit off topic. I'm gonna jump back to finish these guys. So I kind of just want to finish them up, so later I can do the decimate and normal baking, and hopefully at the end of the day I'm gonna have almost all my assets I need for Unreal next week. the only thing left is to spend more time texture painting. But my idea is to bring everything into Unreal and get it up and running, and then I can jump back to Blender in some other live stream and just do texture painting for an entire day and touch up on all of them. Oh, Marco Grolo, hi by the way. I haven't seen you before, so okay, let's sculpt this one. So what I'm doing now is just putting these characters into the stones, because this one was pretty much also done. I could do more cracks, but I don't. I'm kind of sick and tired of doing them today. And I'm probably gonna use smooth stroke for this one. Should have probably used it for the other ones also. Oh no. I'm just gonna flatten and pinch these guys up. It kind of also, regarding like making low poly version, it kind of depends on the assets itself. If it's like something super important, you can do the like the manual retopology with shrink wrap. But for these like static stuff, I think the decimate modifier is pretty damn good. Although it's kind of compute intensive. Okay. Now save and do the mask out the part that we're gonna. I should probably do this like in the default startup file, this curve profile. So we can actually start with a smoother brush and just do the borders. Ooh, stop lagging, please. Oh. This music is, I don't know. Alright, invert the selection, and I'm just gonna say before I do this, the brush stroke, if it's something weird happens. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna change this profile also a bit. So the mask, the mask was a bit sharp on these edges. So it kind of had a weird influence. I'm just gonna smooth it out, and then also quickly go like this. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna bother with that one. It's probably gonna become a bit weird when I normal bake, but the mesh itself is gonna regenerate then. So these kind of weird crevices doesn't really, I don't really bother with them. When I do the decimator triangle, it's probably just gonna not bother by putting any like vertices in these crevices. It's gonna go from that surface to that probably. So yeah, okay, this one is done, and the final one. Didn't know you can mask areas and then anchor a brush with JSON. Yeah, you can. It's pretty okay. This one I haven't almost done anything on. So let me just turn on all the necessary stuff. You can change it, I think with L, no, not L key. Is it E key? Yeah. So you can change any brush to be anchored. But I kind of like, yeah, these guys are on view plane, but most of the brushes that are anchored, like this one, the stone, I kind of like to keep on anchored and area plane. So if you place something in like on an edge, okay, kind of got a bit projected over there, but area plane is a bit better than view plane. So what I'm thinking about this one, I kind of started on it, it looks like, but haven't really like finished doing the cracks. I'm probably gonna do that. I kind of have to finish this one today. Then I have all 4 of them and the archway. Otherwise it kind of looks okay with all this these stuffs. So there's gonna be a bit of sculpting coming up for this guy. So yeah, I'm gonna take a short break and then probably spend half an hour sculpting this guy, doing all the cracks and pinching them, and probably go around with the rock texture. Oh no, don't, yeah, it didn't crash. So, but yeah, a short break on 10 minutes. I need to whoa. It seems like my internet hasn't really shapen up. I'm dropping a lot of frames still. So I'm gonna take a short break and hopefully it's gonna become a bit faster after the break. So yeah. Just gonna select a picture like that one. Okay, 10-minute break, I'll be back and we sculpt and finish up these assets. And then we're probably done for today. Then I'm gonna normal bake and stuff off stream. But see you guys in a while. Alright, I'm back. Let's go into Blender and change this horrible music. I'm playing from this like YouTube audio library, which is copyright free. Because when I play the music I really want to play, I get 10 emails about copyright infringement. So yeah, let's finish up this this guy. And I'm not really happy with any of these cracks at all. Can I kind of destroy them and start over? I don't think Smoothen is gonna get rid of them all, but whoa, okay. Kinda want to paint there anyway, so at least that one was kind of in place. We can keep that one. Maybe we can make that this one goes like this. So what I'm gonna do now is pretty quickly just finish up this one and then do the final letter, and yeah. So it's gonna be a whoa. It's gonna be a bit of sculpting left to do on this one. Try to smooth that up, and I think when I did this one I was probably going a bit too much on the details, so I kind of lost the overall picture. So I probably don't even want this. I can try and replace it with maybe some rock or something. Okay. Then that didn't look half bad though, to have one. So what I want is to get rid of this like super straight lines and just make a bit of thickness variation, and also like imagine that this is a stone, so you can kind of chip away and make the profile here where they meet a bit different, and just zoom in and do one crack like that. Fade away the end. So probably gonna have one here. Should we make it go with this line? No. Whoa. I think that's probably enough for that side. At least at this bottom part, then I can do something up here. Whoa. That's probably good enough for that part. We kind of want something up here on top also later. Maybe something like that. It would be nice if it go. Whoa. Okay, that's gonna be it. So I'm just gonna go in now and do the detail, and then we can just brush it up and do the final letter pretty quickly. And I think I responded to you, Jason, about the area and anchored, and it's yeah, sorry, the masking and the anchored. It's super nice. Give it a try sometime. I really like the masking brush in Blender Sculpting. And probably this one can just, oh, this one can just fade out towards the bottom part of the, we make like, we grind this part up a bit. Oh, that wasn't good enough. Maybe it can go up there. I'm gonna try and remember to change the brush up here in the toolbar, because that goes quicker than my menu now when I'm streaming. Oh. So here we don't have to put that much detail, we just want to get a bit like that, a bit variation in the thickness of the cracked line. You can go and make a tiny crack like that. Later when you pinch it, it's gonna start to look more correct. So here we had like already a kind of contour of the where we wanted this cracks to separate the stones. So I just go in here and do a little bit more like a little bit more obvious that there's a crack there. Alright, let's get the stony and just put this, because we get all this nice details on the edges, and especially like in the a bit more grime in the big parts, big cracks here. But as you can see, it adds a bit to the edges. So meanwhile, when I have the brush, I'm just gonna go over the entire model where I see stuff to add. And then we're gonna start pinch them together, and then it's gonna start more to look like the other models. So I'm just gonna go through it pretty quickly. And where we see we can smooth out a bit, and where it's a bit too yaggy, where it's probably gonna be weird if you pinch all those jagged parts together. So here we can see the grime was pretty nice on this part of the stone. I kind of want to smooth away that one. Okay, now I think we're back where we started. So let's grab the pinch brush and do a little bit more influence. Start pinching them together, and now, as I said before, now is your chance to straighten some of these lines you drew earlier. If they were not straight enough, you can fix them now. And these guys who like disappear in nowhere, I like to just smooth them out a bit before pinching. So that one goes like this, and then there. Straighten that one out, and this part probably straighten a bit more to that, to the left, and fade these guys away since they're so close to the ground. Same part with this one, and it should be almost disappearing over here. We got a bit of artifacts. And all this part I would like to smooth away. So the nice thing is that we kind of keep the depth that we painted, but we kind of remove the this exaggerated width. Okay, I think I've been over this part earlier. Yeah. So this one isn't, oh, I forgot this top part. This one doesn't really look as good as some of the other ones, but now I just want to finish it. Ooh, I'm getting hungry. Okay, so let's finish this one up pretty quickly now. Pinch. Smooth that away a bit. Pinch and then straighten. kind of fade away to nothing. Alright. Nice. So I'm gonna use the stone once again and use it inverted to kind of try and fit some of this into these cracks. Actually, it could have been a bit more influence. Not everywhere, but in some part. Okay, that's what we already had one over there. But we can try and add some of this like stones coming up almost from the ground, especially here at the base. But they shouldn't. No, that one looked weird. They shouldn't go like higher up on the model because we haven't done it for any of the others. But maybe if I quickly just mask this part out. So we don't get it on the ground plane, we just get it on the base of the thing we call obelix. Ah, it's gonna be super sharp. But maybe like that, and then we can go in with the flatten and smooth. Oh, I shouldn't try and flatten in that angle, but maybe here. All right. So with the stony surface, let's make some. Yes. Whoa, it was a bit too much influence. Let's add some. Oh, I haven't added hair yet on this one. So I'm gonna start with the ground plane. Most of this stuff is gonna be below ground. It's mostly these guys that are gonna stick up a bit, but for good measure, I'm gonna go over like that, all of it. And now we can start on this model to kind of save some parts, not like smooth, and some get this more finer detail. Right. Let's just finish the final letter. I'm gonna just use the grab brush and make this area a bit bigger. Holy crap, that was wonky. So the clay strips, there we have it. I don't know when I added that one, but it's kind of in a way, but... Oh, it's too close to it. Can I make it a bit more space? Pinch it a bit. I don't know if it's necessary to do this flatting, because when I do the mask stuff it kind of goes away anyway, but I did it on the other ones. It's a bit weirdly placed, but anyway. Make it a bit, sharper profile for just filling in this other stuff. Okay, that's I'm probably gonna need to fix that stroke. Okay, I think this is good enough for mask. No! Yeah, Control I for invert. I'm just gonna quickly save it and then do that weird pattern thing again. And then we're mostly done with these guys. Then I'm gonna normal bake and stuff off stream. But yeah, let's finish this guy first. Oh. Just gonna change this profile a bit also. I'm just, okay, it's scaled up a bit after I release, but I'm just gonna try and keep the same sizes of these Voronoi cells as on the other ones. Oh, I didn't mask this part. Hey, alright. Maybe I can skip it on this one. Yeah, I'm gonna skip it on this one. Let's just add something else there. So just soften up these edges a bit more. Alright. So apply base to hopefully get rid of some of those shading artifacts went away. And we're done. So what I'm gonna do now is actually all these obelisk stones, I'm gonna decimate them, make a low poly version, which is decimate, then bake the normal and the ambient occlusion, and set up all the materials. Wait, just let me save that one once again. So all of them gonna have these kinds of materials with a lot of textures, a normal map, a base color, value gradient, darken and lighten, and it's just so when I bring everything into Unreal later, I have all the texture channels set up and done. Then there's, if something looks weird in Unreal, it's just like a half an hour work to jump into Blender and paint it over again. And once you have all the connection in Unreal, it's when you save the texture file, you can reload in Unreal. So Crypto says, when I try to use one of the 18 free sculpt brushes for rocks, they just adjust the size of the brush and I can't use them. Strange. But that isn't the orb pack. 18 free sculpt brushes. So the stuff I did for this one, which I finished off today also. Like these rocks are not in Blender by default. You have to get this brush pack, and there's only like 4 stones, and then Yeah, these rocky textures. Have I used this one? Ooh, I should have. Okay, I'm gonna do it off stream. Add a bit of these ones. Oh no, sorry, that's the texture. So this seems. Oh yeah, it's just this rocky texture, but it's anchored instead of. I kind of like the one that which you paint on. But yeah, they're nice. Isn't that the brush pack you just used? I just switched in the channel. So yeah, these are the brush pack I use, the orbs. But I never changed the texture channel of them. I mean, like this one, they have. Okay, this one probably takes a while to load. So I don't change the channel, I just keep the channel because they're kind of specific for all these the stuff they do. So oh yeah, I mean the same brush pack you just mentioned for me aren't working. Oh, alright, what I would do is like try and unload them. What you really don't want to do is like load factory settings, because if you change other stuff you have to do it again. But maybe if you remove them by first clicking here to like remove the fake user data, and then shift click and probably click on the axe and try to append them once again from the stuff you downloaded. So most of these guys I've changed to area plane from view plane, that's okay. But they should be in anchored mode. So anchored mode is the stuff that makes you kind of click and drag them to place. There are a couple of others like drag dot could be probably, but then you just drag it on the surface. I don't think you, yeah. To change size you have to do it like that. So they should be on anchored. But sometimes for me they don't appear, but then I just try and drag it once more. So yeah, sorry Crypto to hear that, but try to append them once again and see if you can make them work. Maybe I can try and use these ones. A bit more influence. And that's kind of nice when you hold control, it goes inwards. Because the default for these guys are that they're going outwards. But I think like inwards looked better on this model. So I just, when I opened this one I saw that I hadn't like done all. There's a couple of cracks there I haven't like really worked over. I think I need to fix them later. But I should have done them yesterday, because today I did this entire side. So yeah, I think this will be it for today. I've been going for 3 hours. I'm gonna go and buy dinner, and then I'm gonna do all the normal baking and low poly decimated versions of stream, because yeah, as you saw, it kind of kills the streaming. But the next time on Monday when I live stream, hopefully we're gonna have all these assets as low poly versions with the necessary texture channels, and then we're gonna start looking of exporting them to Unreal. And I think I'm gonna try that add-on somebody mentioned yesterday. Maybe it was Attila or Jason. It was you, Jason, I think. You gave that Unreal export add-on which can export several objects at once, and you can also make model your own collision cage, which is really nice. So some of these objects might have a modified collision cage. But anyways, I'm gonna finish this off stream later tonight, and I see you guys on Monday, and then we start going into Unreal. So have a nice weekend. It was nice hanging out with you guys once again. Jason and Attila have been in a couple of streams, and Sogi has also been the last couple of days. But I see you guys on Monday, and welcome Crypto and Simon. So yeah, have a nice weekend, happy blending. I'm logging off. Bye bye.